It doesn't want to allow any. I'll not let me sedate it.
Well, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. John myself, what's on the panel this evening? It's Bridgeman and Georgie Logan. How we doing, gentlemen?
How you doing tonight, boys? All right?
Everything's cool. Can I just say a big good evening to you guys? Huge good evening to the guys in the lobby, in the new lobby, and to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
Some extensive site work being on the site in the last 24 hours. The old lobby just wasn't big enough for the traffic. The technical team have been beavering all night. I hope they're not looking for overtime rate for that bridge.
Well, I hope. Don't tell me. You're not getting it.
So if you're sitting outside the lobby, all you have to do is register, use your old password, your username with your old password or a new password, whatever you prefer. Sign in, quick security question, tick the remember me, and then you come in a new lobby. There will be small teething problems as we work all out, but we'll get there in the end. Unfortunately, Pad just developed a stutter. Jipper's got Tourette's. And CB's been on the Old English Sherry, Old English cider for about 3 days now. But apart from that, everybody's okay. How we doing, George?
Aye, good, Ox. Good. How you all doing? All right?
Good, mate. Good. Still sort of... Our team, we're in a good place at the moment, mate.
We are, Ox. Aye, we are. I mean, where do we start now? I mean, to be honest, Ox, I don't think I've probably not spoke to any been on the show since maybe we beat that lot.
We are, Ox. Aye, we are. I mean, where do we start the show?
We probably weren't, for me, Ox, we weren't on top gear that day. Last week in Europe, I don't think we were on top gear. And then at the weekend there, that's probably the toughest one of the three, if we're perfectly honest, because I know we can go out the city and beat them. But going to Kilmarnock's been a right sticky one for us. So that out of the coming through with the three big results, then we're going into Benfica on Thursday, Ox. We're in a really, really good place. And the thing is, Ox, we're no firing on all cylinders, Ox. Alfredo's no playing. Certain guys aren't playing. Ryan Kent's no kicked a ball in maybe 4 or 5 games. And we're still winning games, Ox. So it's all good for me, the new.
I think George's got a very good point there, Bridgeman. I don't think we're front line. Now, whether that's because we're looking for the best three, or we're trying to get the blend right. Maybe some of them are just not quite up to speed yet, Bridge, but I think there's meant to come for the front three.
I think sometimes we can blow hot and cold. Well, players can do that anyway. But yeah, I agree 100%. We've said it ourselves to a certain extent. Some players, the likes of Ryan Kent, you're desperately keen that he plays well and grabs the ball and makes a few moves, because that sort of gets everybody excited. But he hasn't been at his best, and so I think the treatment he's getting maybe that's putting him off a wee bit. But seriously, you're all right. Everybody's right. We're not playing at our best, but my goodness gracious, we're getting results.
Yeah, the results is all matters sometimes, George. I mean, if I'm being honest, I think we deserve to win that game. Maybe 3 goals on Sunday. That's how far away we were from Kilmarnock, but we never took our chances at the right time, so it became a wee bit sticky for a couple of minutes at the end. But 3 points, move on, mate.
That's it, Ox. I mean, that part, I mean, they're a hard team to play against. I mean, people talk about the kind of players who got big cut, Broadfoot, Chrissy Burke and guys like that. Ox, if we're perfectly honest about it, they're not the greatest players in the world, but they all seem to be really professional because they do everything they can for that club they're actually at. So they're always hard to beat. They're always well set up. That park, Ox, that's a great 3 points for us to come away from there. And we're talking about our big game players. Me personally, Alfredo and Ryan Kent and guys like that, no firing on all cylinders now. But they're still making a wee contribution, especially Alfredo, for no scoring goals. He's still doing things, Ox. But then you've got guys running about you, Barisic, Tavernier, who are all rising to the occasion and they're dragging us through. So I think we've got the team to help. We've not just got maybe 6 or 7 guys now, Ox. I think we've got a squad of guys that's want to win for our manager and want to win for us and want to win for themselves, Ox.
Aye, well, he has built a squad. No doubt in that, Bridgeman.
100%. Can't disagree with a word George says there. That was brilliantly well said, George. Can anybody actually say anything, it's untrue or anything? No, it's all there. Everything's all there. I think our manager's done a fabulous job. And look at us. Look where we are. Look at me, mammy. I'm on top of the world. That kind of thing, Absolutely superb. Absolutely superb.
Oh, yeah, James Cagney there.
I said, do you remember that one? Aye, I was old enough for that.
My great granddad told me about it.
Aye. Look at me, mammy. I'm top of the world.
Oh. George, you don't got a clue, have you?
Haven't got a clue what you're saying, Ox. Haven't even got a clue what you're
just
talking
ignore
about.
us, George. Just ignore us and just
Try and bring it back to football.
Was that Angels with Dirty Faces, Bridge? What was it?
I think that's what it was, in fact. I think that's what it was, yeah.
There we go.
Look at
Wow.
me, ma'am.
So,
You've got some memory. You've got a great memory there, Oxy. Great memory.
oh, he'd fill of broken bottles, mate. And a head that's been hit with broken bottles and all.
In fact, it's the heat that broke them.
George, the European run, I don't even think we've been given the credit we deserve for that. To qualify for the 3rd year of trot, we've won my first 2 games.
Unbelievable, Ox.
Yeah.
Ox, the thing is, I heard something the other night, and I've said for years, and by the way, I listened to True Blue, it was about 4 years ago. You're not going to get listened to until we start winning the things. It's coming now, it's really, really coming. I've been saying it for a while, it's coming now. But Ox, we go into Europe and we play our first 2 games and win our first 2 games. I heard on the radio tonight, even if we lose our next 2 games, we can still be second in the group. Ox, that's unbelievable for the wee team we've actually built here. Nobody's been watching, nobody's been noticing, Ox. And we've had their critics in the back. Ox, he's built a really, really good team, a hard to beat team. I think that's probably the way I'd put us across the new, Ox. A hard to beat team. With guys in the middle, Steve Davis, what do you call him, Scotty Arfield, and that, they're all coming right up to the thing with the new Ox, and we're building a right good team. And look at how well we're doing in Europe. We're ahead in the league. If you'd asked me at the start, Ox, I wasn't bothered about Europe. I wanted to win the league. And here we go, we're getting the bay for them at the same time, and we're loving it.
I don't think you were alone in that thinking, George, but I think we all recognise that Europe's important financially, mate.
Well, of course it is, Ox. We can't take that away, Ox. And I think me personally, I've sacrificed 2 things this year. I would have sacrificed 2 things this year, and it's a lot of people who didn't like it. Going into Europe, I would have really second or third round just dropped out there, Ox, and went for that. I really would have, but I've proved everybody wrong, and look how good we're doing. And the other one is the young laddies have just got to be sacrificed this year, Ox, because we can't afford to bring young guys into the team. We need guys who's got to be hit the ground running, and that's why the boy Patterson, they're all about to get their chances. But just know this season, Ox, this season's the one where we win the league and get our credit back. And like Dave King said, we'll win plenty of men after that, Ox, because we'll be in the Champions League next year.
When you said you were going to sacrifice a couple of things there for the league, I thought you were going to say 1, your wife, and the 2, the kids. I was going to say, George, I love my football, but I don't know. I write it off, George.
Nah, but
we'll do that.
We've been blattering on in that, Ox, and some of the times I kidded myself when we had a good team. We had a good 6 or 7 boys getting carried and things like that, Ox. We've built a right good, decent team, Ox. And one of the biggest fines for me, when we paid 7 million for Kent and 4 million for the wee boy Hadji, and one of the best fines for me was a big centre back, Ox, because he's given everybody a wee bit of a chance to think, well, I'm not going to always be in this team now. He's brought the best out in goals, and Big Highlander's hardly put a foot wrong. So that's the one for me, Ox.
Balogun?
Aye, for me, Ox, Balogun's been a great find.
I mean, I don't think he's put a fit rank for it, has he?
He's been smashing signing, an absolutely smashing signing. He came on in the Kilmarnock game there, probably 15 minutes to go or something like that, and he looked as if he'd been playing all the game. So yeah, there's quality. They're probably not the best players in the whole world, but they're really good, and they play alongside each other very well. They can read each other's game to a certain extent, and they're physical when it's needed. They're not the hardest people in the whole world, but Balogun probably a bit more hard than the other two. But the one that came on the best is Goldson. I think Goldson's just stunning.
Goldson's playing well and doesn't suffer fools, but Callender, mate, he doesn't get messed about on the park bridge.
No. He don't play in the Italian league for nothing, It's a tough league. You were talking about a minute ago. You were talking about. Oh my God! The topic's just went away from me. Not getting the credit. I was watching the news. I like to watch the news and the night Scottish news, and then it comes on about the football. Was it talking about the international football? Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, they're going to tell us about the 3 Rangers players and so on and so forth. Not a birdie. There you go. But they told us about a few Celtic players that are there, and how lucky they are to have Leigh Griffiths in their team. And I mean this sincerely. This is what they were saying.
This is Rangers Radio Bridge.
Yes, I know. I'm just trying to say that when you say you're not getting the credit, there's the reason. That's the reason for it. I'm just blanked.
Don't watch it then. Don't get yourself upset. And stop
no. It's the Scottish news. And if they can't mention Rangers players in the Scottish news, there's something wrong.
Agenda, mate. Don't let them worry. We mentioned them on here already. And I'm not warning you about your language again on this show. Some of the words he used there were a disgrace on here, George, wouldn't they?
Trying to be nice.
But Ox, see, the thing is, Ox, we're right in what we're actually saying here. I mean, I don't need anybody to give us credit anymore, Ox. How many games have we played in Europe this year so far? That's been 5 games, is that right?
5 games, yes.
We're not been beat yet, Ox. Ken, that's unbelievable for 2 years in a row. I mean, Walter Smith never done. I Ken it was Champions League different times and things like that. But this is a great achievement, Ox, for us. But the thing is, Ox, we've won nothing, and I'll keep going back to saying that we've won nothing. We need to put the foot in the old neck and just press it, Ox, and just because I think we'll fold under pressure, and I think that's what's going to happen there. And if they drop more points and we keep winning, Ox, that's what needs to happen. Because they proved last year they had the ball. We need to prove it this year, Ox.
Winning matches can put teams under pressure. George, agree. I'm not looking forward to this international break. I wish we could keep going. But first and foremost, see how we go on Thursday night, and then win the game on Saturday, and hopefully Sunday. Get a few goals and go into the break with a boost. You're sitting top of the league. You've played 14 games and you've only dropped 4 points. You've got to be happy, Briggs. You've got to be happy.
Nice dream, isn't it? In the next 2 games we could see ourselves sitting potentially with a bit of luck. Well, in my opinion, a bit of luck, you're going to retain joint top of the league at the worst, and that's what I think if we get the draw. And of course, we get the chance to get a win and go on our own. And the thing is, if we get a win and we're top of the group after 3 games, unbelievable, just unbelievable. It's like somebody's throwing something at me, and it's just fantastic, And the weekend game, big game, huge game. Obviously, each game comes along, biggest game of the season. Because now in the league, they all want to stop Rangers, not because we're Rangers, but they just want to stop. Who's going to be the first to topple Rangers in the league? That's a big challenge for everybody. So it's all about to that big feather. Mm-hmm. I'm really happy. We shouldn't lose to people like Hamill.
No, we shouldn't lose. We have done.
Of course. I've been there crying watching it.
Aye. So you need to get the right attitude. You need to get there with the right attitude, Jeff.
Aye, of course we have, Ox. I mean, I think a lot of your players have got the right attitude now, Ox. Let's be honest. Let's start from the very back, Ox. Big McGregor's got that winning mentality. wants to win. You can just see, and he'll be striving the guys on and pushing them forward. Like Steve Davis will be doing that. He'll be pushing them right forward as well. I think we've got enough winners in our team. You can go right through me, Alfredo and guys. I think we've got enough winners in our team to actually put a lot of pressure on other teams in the Ox. And I was completely wrong at the start of the season when I says forget about Europe, because we didn't need the money. But this year, I think the league's the most important one for me, Ox, and that's why I was maybe saying, again, just give the players a wee bit of rest. But we've proved we've got the squad to be able to do it, Ox.
Aye. Some great news coming out of the club as well, George. Some of the sponsorship deals, the partnerships and all the tie-ups with big outfits at the moment, yeah?
Who was that new one?
Wait a minute, Bridge, you've no
Sorry.
A lot of good stuff happening in the background, Ox. That was something else we lacked, and we lacked it. And even when we did get good guys, well, decent guys, and they never had the right guys in the right places. They've employed the right people now to do certain things. And it's maybe there's things happening in the background, Ox, we didn't actually know about, but it proves our club's going from strength to strength, Ox. It's mere good news. Just keep the good news coming out of our club, the new Ox.
Pass the Cadbury's buttons or Bridge, man, please.
Brilliant.
What are you going to say, Bridge?
I was asking what the second one was, because I was reading about it this morning, but I've forgotten what it is.
Glasgow Airport,
of course. My God, Glasgow Airport.
It's going to be called Glasgow Bilstruth Airport.
Could be. I'm sure I read something that Rangers are going to open a shop there or something. So
under terrorist attack again if they've done that.
Absolutely.
Airport,
magic, wouldn't it? Eh?
What about Glasgow Steven Gerrard Airport?
Oh my God, you'll just drive them all crazy if you said that. Just drive them all crazy.
Or go to Terminal 55, George.
Oh, yes.
That'd be a belter. Aye, that'd be a belter. That would really get everybody going to New York. So I'll tell you that. Even just to be things that happened yesterday, SFA and clubs making boards making statements about us in that Ox. Even that, we've came out good in things like that as well. So a lot of positive stuff happening in our club now. I mean, Ox, we were saying the same last season. And let's be honest, the players, the bottle, something went wrong. So let's just hope we've got the character now to carry it on, Ox, because it's alright doing all this good stuff in the background. I want to start winning leagues again, Ox. That's what's most important to me.
I don't think he's alone with that sentiment, Bridge, is he?
Absolutely not. You can get in the queue. No, desperate. I think we really do all want to get there and make sure it's okay. That's for sure.
Okay, we'll be better plan tonight. We'll go an interview for your manager, Steven Gerrard, MPE, and then we'll open up the phone lines. That sounds like a plan.
Absolutely, pal.
George?
Sounds good to me, Ox.
Get yourself in mute and we'll hear from your manager, Steven Gerrard, MBE.
Stephen, just give me your reaction to events from the last 24 hours.
Yeah, I think obviously really disappointed. I think everyone at the football club's disappointed with the actions of the two players. I think it was important that the club took decisive action. Be very quick to do that, which was pleasing to see. The players know they've let themselves down and the families. They've also badly let the teammates down and the supporters of the club. And they'll be punished internally and they'll be dealt with internally. I think the important thing from my point of view is we draw a line under that. I don't want to be sitting here and kick them even more. They're feeling really down at the moment. They're apologetic, they're remorseful, they're full of regret, and I think they'll regret it for quite some time. They've been suspended in the short. We've spoken to the players since the events. And the next time we'll speak to them is when they come off suspension after an isolation period. But they've made a bad error of judgment, and as I say, I think they're going to regret it for some time. And it's a building process for both them players now moving forward.
As their manager, how did you find out the news and take the news?
Now, for me, it's important we focus back on the football. The team and the squad are in a fantastic place, playing well. The players at the weekend put in a fantastic performance, and the headlines after that game should have been of positivity and praising individuals and the collective on the effort they give in that game. 2 players have took them headlines and praise away from the team and the squad, and the media is littered with negativity now. So moving forward, we need to forget about this and move forward and focus on Benfica, which will be a very tough game. And then we'll go on from there.
You mentioned those teammates that these players will have. How have they taken the news?
I've not had a chance yet to speak to James or the leadership group. I will be catching up with them very soon, and we'll obviously speak about it, and then we'll decide what to do from there. But as I say, it's an internal situation now that the club will deal with. The players are going to have to take the medicine and take the punishments like men, and I'm sure at some point they're going to have to give the teammates an explanation, and then we'll obviously focus back on the football.
And in some ways, is it good that you do have such a fantastic challenge against Benfica to look forward to, just to kind of forget about all this?
Yes, as I say, the team are in a really good place. The club are working ever so hard with all the rules and regulations, and obviously everyone's trying ever so hard to buy into that. And we've been educated on so many times how we need to behave during this pandemic. But the football side of it's been a real positivity and not a distraction from it, but to help focus on some positive stuff. We're playing well, individuals are playing well, getting some real good results. And the challenge for all of us is to try and maintain that. And, Benfica is a really exciting game, an exciting challenge, and I'm certainly looking forward to it. I'm sure the team are as well. And hopefully, come the end of the game, people are talking about something different rather than the last 24 hours, 48 hours.
Okay, thanks for that. It was something that I would hope that I noticed that I wasn't going to go away, George, and I was going to get your opinion on it, but that interview broke just at tea time. I think Steven Gerrard's fronted up for the club and came out and put things to bed, firefighting, if you like. Said all the right things as normal. George?
I mean, that's what I took for that today. I heard it today. I mean, you listen there, the new. You get football manager and you get coaches, Ox. Football managers traditionally for me used to, Walter Smith, Alex Ferguson used to run the club. Not just the football team used to run the club, and they used to do things like that. And I see that there, Ox, and honestly, he's just the way he conducts himself, Ox, is absolutely fantastic. He's just a born leader, and that's maybe where our guys are getting it, rubbing off on him, Ox, because he's absolutely fantastic. And the way he comes across in interviews, Ox, he's yet to get beaten as far as I'm concerned in an interview.
The way you said, George, Bridgman is, they'll be punished, and that's the end of it. And then it's up to them. They have to sort themselves out, and they've got a lot of brilliant today, and it might work for them, it might not.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's been a lot of, shall we say, people saying certain things, and I think it's really difficult to put your finger on it yourself. I don't know what to think, to be honest. When I heard it initially, blah blah blah, but now I just don't know what to think. Yeah, I think what we said last night and what you're saying now is let the club go on with it, and go on with the players go on with it as well. We're going to a very lonely 14 days or whatever, 12 days now or after this. So a lot of soul searching to be done and see how they go on. Let's go on with the game.
I don't know if it's so much the soul searching. You might be able to. It's building bridges, no pun intended, bridge,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Potentially what you could have done to your teammates, the hell of a load could have caused if you'd have run the training on the Monday, or, I know there was no training on the Monday, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
Again,
but they can't do nothing what I'm meaning is that they can't do nothing for, 12 or 14 days, whatever it is. So that's what I mean. They can a lot of time for soul searching, and then after that, if it goes a wee bit better than a lot of folk think, then they can build bridges as quickly as possible. Build the bridges quickly. Got to come out and officially apologise. Blah blah blah.
Well, we'll see. As long as they mean it, and it's not just yes. George?
I think your manager will deal with exactly how I expect him to deal with Ox. I mean, we've just spoke about the way he conducts himself and everything. The other side of the coin, look at a guy like Jermaine Defoe, the way he conducts himself, the way people speak about him in the game and things like that. On a live chat with fans and that the other night there, and just different things. I mean, that's how you conduct yourself. You don't have to be a non-smoker or a non-drinker, but that's what he is. But you don't have to be that. But just the way he is as a professional, the way how fit he looks and things like that. Ox, a lot of folk can learn that from him. And I think your manager, honestly, I think your manager will do it properly, Ox.
I mean, my own theory is that there's a possibility we might never see the two boys playing for their first team again. Yeah, I think they're that far out the door now. There might be no way back for them, but stranger things have happened in life, Bridgeman.
Yeah, indeed. Look, I don't, as I say, I don't know what to think. But based on what you said it there, that's probably as good. I couldn't say it much better than that. There's a chance that the negative side of that will be true. I don't know how it's going to happen, and I wouldn't know when. But I know that sometimes when you do these things, you really annoy somebody up top, and that annoyance just grinds them, and eventually they find a way to get you out the door, that kind of thing, I don't think I've only heard of that once, and that was that that boy, was it Sandaza?
I mean, you think back to Graham Roberts when he fell out.
Graham Roberts, yeah. No, but Sandaza did get sacked. Charles Green actually sacked him, wasn't he?
Aye, did. Breakdown of trust and confidence, but
yeah.
Stranger things have happened, but the club will be annoyed, George, because obviously they've been working behind the scenes in these two announcements about sponsorship, decent. No, they're no. It's not the be all and end all, but Glasgow Airport, people have been looking for us to get a presence there for a long time. We've got a partnership with them, with how the devil's in the detail. Cadbury's, we were a charity foundation being the club's official snack. But in fact, Bridge, give me one of the heroes over there. Thank you, Bridgeman.
Heroes, right enough.
and obviously, you're waiting to do these wee announcements to build them up and build the club up, and give the fans a boost, keep the good times rolling, and then you get this negative story.
Aye, Ox, I'm holding thing with him, but I'm absolutely disgusted with him, Ox. Absolutely disgusted with him. I think it's absolutely criminal that a boy like Jordan Jones, I don't think he should have been at a club anyway, and I've said that all along, Ox, but I think it's absolutely criminal. He's not got the thing to say, I'm at Rangers, I should just listen to the rules and I should stick with the rules. If I'm Stephen Gerrard, I send the two of them out and loan and either sell them in January. I just wouldn't accept that, Ox, and I know Stephen Gerrard wouldn't accept that. They're breaking all kinds of rules. And our club's trying to get back to the top, Ox, and they're bringing us back doing like that again. Our club's been brilliant in it, and whatever our manager does, I'll support on that, Ox.
It's whether the players will want them back or not. You don't always get accepted. We'll see. Anyway, enough about that. Anyway, Bridgeman, if people want to join us, what's the number?
The number is 0141 356 1972.
Our joins at Skype at rangersradio.online. We brought in a call with Fox and Old School Blue. The technical team, I take my hat off to them. If you phone in, hang up and we will contact you right back. What a job, the technical team. I know I'm quick to criticise them. And by the way, their nights are crap, Rich. Crap. What a job they've done in the last 24 hours. To make sure that everyone was on the right and things are going to get better and better. On the lobby, Old School Blues get a bit between his teeth. And Fox is guiding them. The brains of the operation, Mr. Fox.
It's looking good, actually, Oxjed. I mean, it does look good. Tidy looking,
Fox is looking good.
Website.
Is that what you're saying? Fox is looking good?
No, I'm saying to you, the site is looking good. Ox.
You said Fox was looking good.
No, Fox, no, I never said that.
Oh, yeah, you drink and drugs tested. Come and join us. Give your thoughts. Obviously, Rangers-related news. Well, the boys, we discussed a bit last night. We know it's not going away. You're entitled to your opinion. The positivity is about the club is now, George. Big game coming up on Thursday. Loads to talk about.
Oh, I'm always to talk about the club and so positive stuff. I mean, a couple of things I found. I didn't realise we'd never played Benfica before, Ox.
The friendly, only once in a friendly 19.
I would have never known that, Ox. Yeah, I mean, the Real Madrid one, I've never personally seen Rangers playing Real Madrid, but I would have never ever thought about Benfica because just you're playing all the Portuguese teams. I heard you saying last night about the teams we've played for Portugal, Ox. We've had some hard ties. I mean, that Braga were a hard team, and the last team I remember is playing obviously Porto and things like that. But that team, we put them out in penalties. Ox, Alex McLeish is a manager. I thought they were a great team. I mean, they were probably sitting 6th or 7th in the Maritimo.
That's it.
Aye, brilliant team. I mean, we've come up against a lot of hard teams, Ox, and this one on Thursday night's alright. I think this is the level up to it. We've had probably, maybe I would say, the same level as Leverkusen, Ox, if I'm perfectly honest.
Oh, big boat. Anyway, we've been joined by a caller. Evening, caller.
Evening, gentlemen.
How we doing? What's your name, mate?
Jim and Paisley.
Oh, Jim, is it you? Your good self. How are you doing, mate?
You sound different, Jim. You sound different, Jim.
Because I'm raging.
All right, okay then.
Jim, look, I promise you, I put that money in the post.
No. Was it postal order or what?
Postal order. I've seen one of them for a long time. Maybe you used to get them for your birthday. That used to take
You're giving your age away there, pal. You're giving your age away, Jim.
Getting his age away.
What's on your mind, Jim? Get it off your...
See this. I know you're maybe past this subject now with the two guys, but I'm absolutely seething about this. The things have been going so well.
To the party, Jim?
What postal order never arrived? Don't mind that letterbox all day for that Egypt. No, but these two guys, as far as I'm concerned, I think the two of their jiggers and their shaking out the best of times. Never mind what happened to now. I think it was George who said earlier on, or maybe yourself, your good self mate, I said you'll never see them again in the Rangers jersey. But I fully agree with that. I don't see why they should.
This is my view, George, and it's no Rangers radio view. It's only sorry, Jim. It's only my personal view, right? I think sometimes you've got to watch me. I know they're no kids, but they're still relatively young men. They've made a mistake, and they will get punished for it. Whether they'll lose their job enough to move on, only time will tell. And I don't think we'll see them in the Rangers jersey again, the two of them.
But they two go into that training ground every day. There's young boys from 16 to 18 look up to them, and they look at they two and go, look at this pair coming in. These boys are looking up to the likes of they two.
Aye, we can't defend them, but I can say that they've made a mistake and they've not murdered anybody, but we can't defend what they've done. George Logan?
Nah, for me, Ox, I wouldn't even try and defend them. I think our club will deal with the way it's going to be dealt with, Ox, and it's another thing, Ken, you can see we're getting a bit of appraisal how it is getting dealt with, but I ken they're young laddies and you've got to give people second chances and things like that, Ox. Let's go back to it. Jordan Jones getting sent off against Celtic was ridiculous, and he was probably in the bad books for that day anyway. Looking in football terms, the big guy George Edmondson hasn't really done much wrong for us. Came as a young laddie, had a couple of no bad games and things like that, Ox. But for me personally, if it was Alfredo Morelos, would I be saying the same thing? I would be saying the same thing, because it's a time you've got to say, no, it's a pandemic going on, Ox. You can't accept that. I think you get rid of the young laddies, and it's as simple as that, Ox.
Ridgeman?
Well, as I said a wee bit earlier, there's a lot of folk like Jim there are completely seething about the whole thing. I'm seething because it's my club and they've done something wrong. I don't know all about it, other than what wee bits that you've read and we spoke about last night. I don't know whether I would want them completely gone just for that purpose, but I don't think they've enamoured themselves with anybody. And any wee chance, I would suggest, any wee chance that they had, certainly in the very near future, to go out and show what they could do in this big year for Rangers, they may have lost those chances. So it could be a long time, if indeed they get a chance again, but it'll be a long time.
Let's also be honest. I mean, they weren't in the 20, were they? So they're not in the 20, the pool of 20 that was stripped for Kilmarnock, so they're not exactly been pushing to get in the first team. But that doesn't change what they've done, Jim. They've been silly, naive, foolish.
Oh, see when 16-year-old boys got in that training ground every week and they get caught at a rave last Sunday night. What do you think would happen to the boys?
They would be
turn up the training ground on a Monday for training. You were out at a rave Sunday night, you were caught. Do you think they would have showed their face again when allowed by the Ibrox? I doubt it.
I think in football, mate, people have been given second chances a lot, particularly if you're a talented player. It's a
Oxford bigger players than that been shown the door at Ibrox for falling out with management.
Aye, there has been, mate. Look, I've given you my opinion. I don't think we'll see the two of them play for our first team again. And I'm with George, they might even leave the club in January.
Aye.
Or they might, once the suspension is sorted, you might have, particularly with Jordan Jones, you could have a shake of hands in the partner ways. That could happen. But
I just wanted to get that off. I just wanted this off my chest. I've been after none. I've been sick because really, really disappointed.
They let the fans. First and foremost, they let themselves down. I think we all agree with that. They let their families, the club down. They let the fans down. Yeah, naive. I don't know. No excuses. You can't. You can put it down, but you can say they're only young men and they've made a mistake. But they've made a mistake in public, and they're going to have to pay a high price for it.
I just hope, if you don't make them in there, I just hope that our club doesn't get made out to be the badging. Whatever happens,
we're getting praise for the way we've dealt with it.
Yes, we're dealing with it now, and long may our lum reek as far as that's concerned. But if something serious happens insofar as the decision's concerned, I'm going to support the club, but I don't want them to be seen as I don't know how they would do it, but God knows, I just don't want our club to be seen in a bad light at all through this.
No, I get why. I fully understand why people were angry. I get it. I don't think, as I said, I think they'll pay a heavy price for it. George Logan, and hopefully Stephen Gerrard's come out, put the fires out, and let's get back to the football.
So that's it all. We've got Thursday to look forward to. So I'll be one of these 24, 48 hour bug. Everybody will hear me speaking about it. As long as your club continues to deal with it in the proper way, Ox, we can only come out this looking good. It's not a club issue, Ox. We've dealt with it in our direction. It's a player issue, and our club is dealing with the players, so it's as simple as that, Ox.
Alright, we've been joined by another caller. Evening, caller.
It's Dave. Edinburgh, Big Dave.
Remember Big Dave? I'll never forget Big Dave.
You're talking about Edmondson and Jones. I would give the big fella another chance. Jones, I wouldn't. Because Jones has had a couple of chances, hasn't he? That's just my opinion, I know the two of them done the same thing, but I would give Edmondson another chance. Jones is Jacob's been on a shaky nail for a while now, anyway.
I don't think we'll see any of the two of them near the Rangers first team. I might be wrong, Dave.
Aye, maybe. But seemingly the two of them are right remorseful and all that. But that's what they're saying. But you don't know, eh?
I think that my understanding is it was the two of them that contacted the club right away and started the ball rolling, But look,
you just wonder what got into their heads in the first place. Why did they go in the first place? They must have known it was going to be a no and get caught.
I think we all know we're getting into their heads.
Aye.
We're all young men, once, you know what I mean?
A couple of Sherbrits.
Big Dave. Behave yourself, Big Dave. That's shocking.
You know,
A couple of Sherbrits saying that's it,
I think we all know it.
Yeah, anyway, good news today. Anyway, another 19 million shares. Is Bridgman buying them?
Well, he's buying, what he's doing, mate, is I'll be really, really honest with you. I wasn't wanting to say this on the show, but he got a new sofa off a gym, George Field, and when he turned his old one up, there was that much money in it, mate. He says, I could get some shares.
It's only 20p a share.
That's how much money was doing the back of his sofa.
Oh dear, what a pair of shockers. So, do we know any, Big David's there any idea who were given to? The shares were given to?
They've not been bought yet, but there's 19 million shares up for grabs. So they've not been taken yet, but I'd imagine the Rangers, the fans will probably grab some of them, won't they? What have they got, about 12.5% as it stands now?
When you say they're up for grabs, when you say they're up for grabs, does that mean that Rangers have released, or does it mean that there 19 million shares?
But before I come on the radio, I was reading it on the Rangers thing. They've just put 19 million shares up for sale at 20p a share. So it's just over 4 million quid into the club.
See the guy that bought the last lot?
Aye, Gibson.
Yeah, so I think there was word that he was going to be buying more or something like that. So, well done anyway. Well done, Rangers.
It's all good news apart from obviously what you were talking about there. But I mean, how many sponsors is that we've got as well now?
I'll tell you what, the boards at the back of them when you do the thing, they don't need I don't know what the size of the boards are going to be when they do an interview now.
I mean, there's about 4 sponsors on the shirt, isn't there?
Well, Bridgman's got to try to get sponsors, everywhere for us, But, I think, look, I've got to take my hat off. George Logan, Mr. Bisgrove, James Bisgrove, a young man that came in for UEFA, he's certainly up to game.
He definitely has, Ox, 100%. I agree with whatever you're saying there, Ox. But see, the thing for me, Ox, I mean, there's what we're saying, 19 million more shares going up. There's another £4 million coming into our club, Ox, because it's got to be coming to our club from somewhere. The money's got to be coming out somewhere. It's not going to anybody else in the Ox. It's coming in back into our club, so it's more positive news for our club coming up a couple of months before the AGM, Ox. So it's really all good news coming to our club in the Ox.
I would, if I was a betting man, I would say that these shares would be put up to be snapped off, and the accounts will be coming out in the next maybe week, and you might see a deficit roughly at the equivalent of 19 billion shares. Maybe I'm being naive, Bridgman.
Well, remember it's only there's the books that they're going to be doing is a year end up to the 31st of May. My memories are June, or 30th of June. And that's the end figure. But you're right. The monies that they've brought in the last month or so, plus this lot coming in, when they turn in and say, "Well, we're going to need so many £1 million to keep going," well, it's already there. You know what I mean? Cash is there. So
yeah,
I agree with you there. But it's wonderful. Here we're talking about our club, and we're talking about money in the club and people investing in the club. It's just fabulous. It's just fantastic. Just fantastic.
It's all great news, Dave. I mean, these announcements the last couple of days, they're not going to be bringing millions into the club, but they're all obviously Glasgow Airport's important to us because it's our city, and also the fact is like Cadbury's. When you look at Cadbury's history, there's been a tie-up with Rangers a way back. Believe it or not, I read today, I couldn't believe it.
And they're opening another 3 shops as well. One in Glasgow Airport. No, sorry, the Rangers store. Store.
Well, I was going to say Cadbury's, they don't cause buttons,
No, there's another 3 Rangers stores. One in, I think, Edinburgh, one in Glasgow Airport, and I think one at Livingston, maybe.
They're not going to open a show in Edinburgh for one supporter, mate. You know what I mean?
You'd be surprised, by the way. You'd be surprised.
How many Rangers fans are left in Edinburgh or the Edinburgh area?
Oh, there's thousands of Rangers fans in Edinburgh.
Listen, I was doing London for 10 years, and there's a few Rangers fans doing there and all.
Oh,
you'd be surprised. We're all over the world.
Absolutely, like dog shit. No matter where you go, there's a Scotsman and he's a Rangers man.
I can't believe there's any Rangers fans down south. I lived down there for 10 years. There was a few there, a lot, and all right enough. Few of the mix.
Where were you living, Dave? Where were you living? Oxford?
London. I was doing it near the Elephant and Castle.
Oh, were you?
Aye. East Street. You know East Street?
No, I don't know. No.
The famous market. East Street Market.
Only
not far from there.
Only a bit of London Bridge, no Soho.
Jim Davison territory, the Elephant and Castle.
Is that right? There you go, Jim Davison. There, enough.
What I also can't believe we'll get a Rangers support for Paisley. I find that hard to believe, you know what I mean?
Steady.
How we doing?
You were talking about James Cagney earlier. The film was White Heat.
White Heat, that's right. It was White Heat, right enough, yeah.
Was the one where he gets executed at the end and he starts greeting like a bubbly burn.
Yeah. White Heat.
I like them films are all, mate.
So you're quite old as well then?
I'm 52.
52? Oh, you're maybe slightly older than Oxshare, I think.
No, I'm not. You're double my age.
There you go.
Right, let's get back to it. Right, so, where are we? Jim, you've got it off your chest. You feeling better?
Well, another thing I wanted to bring up about this €4,000. Does anybody know what that fine is for? When they fans in the stadiums and shit, we're still getting fined for stuff.
I think, as I said last night, I think we've got a direct debit with UEFA that we have to pay a fine if we get it off right.
I think they're going like that. Is Rangers still in this tour and have we find them yet? No, they get him $4,000. Stuck up that
I think some official went through a door and didn't know where he was when he got through it. And it wasn't a signpost or anything. So.
Do you know what? You know what they said in the paper? It was for no having enough ball boys to put the ball back and play quick enough.
Oh, save us. By the way, I have to admit...
That's what they said. This is because they deemed it unfair because we obviously did this. We're the home team against Galatasaray, and we didn't supply the ball quick enough when it went into play. That's what the fine was for.
The last time we played Livingston, they could have lost their whole stadium because they never put the ball. The second half, they never put the ball.
They got the balls away.
Exactly, kicked them all away. They only had one.
That's right. They were all behind the hoardings.
That's right. Yeah.
We'll take the $4,000 fine and move on, Jim. If it comes to it, we'll get Bridge to pay it.
That's what the fine was for. That's what the fine was for.
Elliot said they two chairs.
Right, I'm not going to tell you again, right? Bridgeman, you shut up. Dave,
don't say that word.
Bridgeman. But George Logan.
They two are getting on to me.
10 minutes he's been trying again for you too.
Sorry, Jim. Sorry, pal.
Right, George, in we come. So we're starting to build up to Thursday night's game. Big European tie. I've never played for Benfica in a competitive game. I don't think we've lost in about 18 competitive games to a Portuguese team, which is unbelievable, George. So we'll take the same start in the next couple of weeks,
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just think about it. I mean, realistically, when you look at them on paper, all the teams, I think Porto was the one. I mean, I thought we played Porto after part of the two games here, Ox. I thought they were excellent. But that would have probably been the hardest one if you look at it on paper. But I think this one coming up on Thursday is a hard game, Ox. Again, we've had a good record. We're a good team. We're a good team, Ox. A hard to beat team. But I think Benfica, I don't even know where they finished in the Portuguese league last season.
Behind Porto.
Behind Porto, I thought that somebody, but I wasn't 100% sure. Ox is still going to be a hard game. I'm taking it as a right tough game, but they'll be saying the same about us, Ox. We'll be hard to beat.
Last night, George, you aware of that?
I know. I didn't understand who that was. Ox seen it was 2-0 at half time. That was a bit of a strange one for me as well, Ox.
Beat 3-0. Now, I don't know what kind of team they do. I think Fox will be looking at it and maybe bring him in a few minutes. Jim, what do you fancy in a betting Thursday night? Are you going to have a wee punt on us?
Absolutely. I bet every game. I bet every Celtic game we draw, and I bet every game we play into win. So I'm going for a win.
Right.
I'm just bet a win. I don't care the price. I don't worry about the prices or just bet Rangers to win.
Oh, I mean, millionaires are like that, mate. They're not really worried about the money.
No, but I'm still here. But never mind million. I'm still waiting for a postal order.
I'll be through, mate. I'll be through any time now. Look, I promise you, I've sent you.
Did you sign the back of it?
No, I forgot.
No, I bet to Rangers to win. Don't care the price. We'll make it odds against. Make it odds against. Make it 15-8 or 13-8 all day, me.
A win's a win, mate, isn't it?
Absolutely, every time.
Aye.
I'm not going to bother. I keep betting us to win 4 now. I'm going to shock that. I lose money out doing that.
Correct scores are hard, mate. Correct scores are hard.
So make a wee double. Rangers to win and Celtic to draw. Usual double.
Any positive result. I mean, I said last night I'd take a draw, Dave, and I've been honest there. Away to Benfica. I'll hopefully we win. Hopefully take a draw tomorrow,
That's what I'm going for. A 1 each. Sorry, did you say Dave there?
Aye, on you go, Dave. Aye.
All right. No, that's what I'm going for. A 1 each. I'm quite confident we won't get beat. But I can see us scoring, but we might let one in this time. So I'm saying 1 each. Mm-hmm. And I've got a funny feeling he'll play a back 5 on Thursday.
Are you bringing Ballagher?
He brought Ballagher on for the last 15 minutes, 20 minutes at Kelly, didn't he? And I wondered why he went to a back 5. And I was just thinking, is this in preparation for Thursday? Is he going to play a back 5 on Thursday? The 3 centre halves.
Dave, I think we're getting each other roasted that last 15 minutes. I was in the kitchen listening. I couldn't watching the telly. It
was a nail biter, wasn't it?
And I thought we were getting each other rose at the back. That last 15, nobody knew about it. It was like, it was too. Don't like it doing that road, but I think we were getting each other road. That back 5 in the boat Ballagher on.
Well,
that was just my opinion.
We've not played it yet, but I've got a feeling they might play it on Thursday.
Well, watch this space, we'll find out. Anyway, Bridge, if people want to join us, what's the number?
The number is 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. We've brought in the call by one and only Fox and Old School Blue. If you phone in, hang up, and we will call you back. Oh, Fox has come in to join us. How are we doing, Mr. Fox?
Good evening.
Oh, congratulations to the technical team, mate.
Well, it would help if you would watch the Skype now and again, but anyway.
Sorry, brother.
There's a lot of people who are sitting outside the lobby and probably can't see the lobby. What they need to do is register first using any username or password or your old one, whatever you want. Once you register, log in, and then that'll bring you into the lobby.
Sorry, mate. I had it. Sorry, I apologise. Boavista last night in Benfica. Was that majority of Benfica's first team that was playing last night, Fox?
I would have said it was indeed, yes. There's quite a selection of internationals, Benfica. They've got a Greek goalkeeper. They've got their 2 centre-backs, one's Otamendi, who used to play with Man City, and Vertonghen, who used to play with Spurs. Quality young left-back in Nuno Tavares. And there's a name people might remember was the boy Tarabat, who used to play for Fulham and another couple of Chelsea clubs. He's supposed to be doing really well in the midfield, whereas he was played as an attacking midfielder before. They've also got 3 Brazilians on their side, Gabriel, Everton, and can't remember the other boy's name, but and they've got a Uruguayan up front and a German. So it's a team of multi-international players, mate.
All right, okay. All right. It's not exactly the best result they'd win. Kind of a big tie, but only time will tell if it's a confidence sapping result for them, mate. What's your thoughts, Fox?
I think we've got a very good chance of getting something out of the game. I'd be very, very happy with a draw and over the moon by a win, but it's a tough place to go in Europe. And well, as long as we give it a go, I think most of our support will be happy.
Fox, can I just ask you, how many fans are allowed in on Thursday?
I don't know if there's any whatsoever. There was no fans, I don't think, at the Boa Vista game. So I don't know how their rules go.
They were saying they had about 5,000 at the last European game, and they were hoping to get 15 in this one.
I think so. I think things have went backwards, mate.
Yeah, they've been told no fans. No
fans.
Right, okay.
You know.
Let me get the ball in the park quicker.
Jim, just you pay that fine. George, interesting. I mean, it's when I think they played Saturday, Monday, and then they're playing us on Thursday. So hopefully that's to our advantage.
Oh, we'll take anything going. We'll take absolutely anything going. I mean, if we can come out we come into this show on Friday and we're talking about us having 9 points out of 9 points, Ox. I mean, that's I can't be mind blowing about it. I think, but it actually is for us, Ox. I mean, for any Scottish team would be doing that in a group stage would be fantastic, Ox. Because I say they'll be a good team. I think it'll be a hard to beat team. We're also a hard to beat team as well, Ox. I mean, we've got two great centre halves in Ox. I mean, every centre half can make a mistake, but they two guys have been brilliant for us now. Our two right back and left back, fantastic. I mean, we're really playing quite good in the Ox. The guys up front, I said, we're no firing, so we're going to be hard to beat, Ox. But I think we can beat them as well. When going out to Portugal and beating them would just be a bit mind blowing, Ox, to get the kind of points for us at the start of the season, Ox.
Okay, gentlemen, get yourself to mute. We're going to have a tune.
How many years ago, my boys, I left the Glasgow town. I followed the pull of the Yankee land and here have settled down. Although I meant for Bridgeton Cross and my friends so near and dear, but I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. You can talk of California where the sun shines all the year. You can bomb about your Broadway lights so clear. But it would fill my heart with gladness, it would fill my heart with cheer, if we only had the Rangers over here. For they're the finest team in all the land, and I'm sure that you'll agree. To see them win is something grand, it's part of history. We're the boys who fear no noise, my lads, and I mean that's quite sincere. What I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. Singing Buck of California where the sun shines all the year. Singing bum about your Broadway lights so clear. But it would fill my heart with gladness, it would fill my heart with cheer, and we only had the Rangers over here. I'm sure that you'll agree. To see them win is something grand, it's part of history. We're the boys who fear no noise, my lads, and I mean that's quite sincere. What I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. You can talk of California where the sun shines all the year. You can bomb about your Broadway lights so clear. But it would fill my heart with sadness, it would fill my heart with fear if we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had the Rangers over here.
Yeah, Bridgman, you like that one?
If we only had the Rangers over here. That's a smashing wee song, isn't it? It would fill my heart with gladness, it would fill my heart with glee. Yes. I love all these songs. Stone mad.
So if you're sitting outside the lobby, the newly designed Rangers Radio lobby, it's our website, where we have the interactive chat. Log in or register. Use your same username, or if you're signing up for the first time, sign in, and then use either your old password or a new password. Security question. Remember me, and off you go. Simple as that, folks, huh?
Yes, simple as that.
I think they can also. Can we just say? They can also add in their. What do they call them? Their photographs for their profile. I'm trying to say, if they go up to the top, under their name, if they click the wee down button next to their name, and there's a top one that says, edit your profile there, take you all the way through, and there you can go to profiles. So use a profile, and then into profiles, and then you can upload your photos. That's it.
I've seen that one of you with the old strip on.
Those were the days. Those were the days, boy.
Aye, so get in first. Once you get in, you can have a look at it. There's loads of wee bits, and I'm sure our own star, Old School Blue, will be adding to it. Knowing him, it'll be hourly, Foxer.
He's doing it by the minute as we get through this show.
By the minute, there we go. So I've got to take my hat off to Old School Blue. There's people on this show who do the talking, who are under the stars of the show. Old School Blue, without him, there's no, and Fox, there's no.
Absolutely, well said, Oxia. Absolutely, well deserved. And they're going to get a wee bonus and things like that. So,
well, I'm still. I don't care what you say. There's Christmas nights out are crap, mate. I'm still no.
All right, okay. So that's it. There'll be no nights out then.
A night out with the technical team. Oof, it's like pulling teeth. Right, where were we? Right, so we off. Are we being realistic here, or is it we're good form that we're thinking we're invincible? Dave for Edinburgh. This is a hard tie. Hello, Dave. Aye, we have. George.
Aye, Ox. Of course, it's a hard tie. That's what I'm saying. I mean, but the thing is, Ox, everything that you said there is actually true, and I sound like I'm contradicting myself when I say my one statement, Ox. But we're not firing all cylinders, Ox. But the likes of Morelos, I think he's playing good. Morelos is playing well. Kent, he's not been in games at all in the last 5 or 6 games, and Hadji's definitely got something, and it's going to come, Ox. And there's 3 big players in the middle and midfield. They've not really contributed, and then our attacker not really contributed, but we're still scoring goals, Ox. So I think we're not far away from hitting top form, Ox. So it's going to be a tough game, but we're going to be hard to beat, Ox. And I think we can go there and date, Ox, and that's the scary thing. So we're being realistic about it, but it's still a tough game, Ox.
All right, so people want to come and join us, give their thoughts. What's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Our choice at Skype at rangersradio.online. You can bring on the call with Fox and Old School Blue. If you're on the phone in, hang up, and we will contact you back ASAP.
Come in and enjoy yourself.
So we move on to Thursdays we're talking about already. Dave said about a back 5. I don't know. I really don't know what the team will be. I'll depend on what knocks and kicks and the big picture. I don't think you can pick Gerrard's team. Jim? I don't think
he picked Gerrard's team either. I think you're absolutely correct with what you're saying there, Ox. And Big David's saying that a back five. Well, been saying that to you. You wouldn't discard that. But it didn't sound right to me. But you just don't know. The gaffer's got other ideas. Well, he knows his team better than we do. And as you say yourself, there's certain players there are not really. It's getting to that time of year for us, which is a worrying time of year, isn't it? When we start doing stupid stuff at the back and the front, and I'll be sure Jack's going to play. He's still carrying something. Hollander was to me the weekend there. Hollander, a couple of moments I thought, this could be a mistake on its way. So the gaffer knows, he sees him every day. So they could pick a team. We've got players in every position, Ox. Every
time we come on here, I think last week we announced all the players, and what was it? Who did they get? Each one. That's one. I don't think anybody said him. The week before it was Hadji appeared, and then we've had Defoe appear against Livingston.
Well, Defoe's not going to be counted anyway. He's doing the pool.
No, I know that, but what I'm saying is every week there seems to be a wee curveball, and he just keeps us thinking and guessing, George Logan.
Aye, it's really hard to name his team, Ox, but I think we can trust our team now. I think we've got guys in the team we can trust to do the job and pull us through certain situations. I mean, I think Jim said there about Hollander. Looked about him on Saturday. I think he looks absolutely fantastic, Ox. That's one place where I really think our back five, whoever's in goals with the back four, have been absolutely fantastic. They've been brilliant. Then we'll bring the Big Bassy in at left back as well, Ox, and we've been strong there as well. So I mean that's a feature to our team. And we're really hard to beat, Ox. I think that's where you've got to start at the back, Ox. I've always said that, and then you can't even get Balogun in the team because Big Hollander's playing well. So that's good for us, Ox.
Aye. I mean, Balogun's come in for the European games, the last two European games. Would I be surprised if that happened again? No, I wouldn't. But would you be surprised if Hollander started? No, you wouldn't, Bridge. It was difficult to name the team, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I think we're best to leave it to the manager. He's got a good idea what he wants to do. But seriously, those players that you're speaking about, they're on top of their game. There's not very many of them, particularly defensively speaking. Those players, there's not very many of them below form. They're doing very, very well. Some of them they're really above form, if you follow me. I think Gold's in the last 3 or 4 games, longer of course, but really and truly, he's come very commanding. He strolls out, or not strolls, but he comes out and he's blasting these lovely passes across the pitch, diagonal. Sometimes they go a bit awry, but seriously, he's doing something, thinking about his game. You can see he's thinking, and all of a sudden he's there, and that's what you're looking for. If you're going to play out for the back, play out right, and make sure you're making the ball go the distance.
Bridgeman, over a year ago, maybe a year ago, all that back four were getting their character off us on this radio show. Big goals. We weren't sure to see the man for the job, and they were who's the best.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And a big Tavernier himself, he was getting binned as far as we were concerned over a year ago.
I think Fox was the binning him.
No, I think
not Goldson either.
No, Goldson. I've always been I've always favoured Goldson simply because he is a centre half. I think he's been great, and he's come on in leaps and bounds. And look at him now. He'd really be pushed to be able to name a better player in Scotland at that position.
Before I bring George VK in, do you remember at school, George? You put all the haddies at centre half to hide them, didn't you?
Yeah, shocker.
You remember?
Shocker. To hide them. That's shocking. That's shocking, you.
How we doing, George?
Hi, mate.
How we doing, mate?
I'm doing dandy, mucker.
Brilliant, mate. Brilliant.
I just want to see, by the way, man. I don't the last 3 seasons in Europe, in Europa League, we've been going like that. Oh, don't know if we'll beat them, don't know if we'll beat them, don't know if we'll beat them. That's what I mean. It's time to take on off the handbrake, man. You know what I mean? We shouldn't fear them at all. We shouldn't fear them, man. We go away. We don't play. We used to play defensive football. We'll go there and attack them, and I think we'll beat them. I'm confident we'll beat them.
Oh, you're right,
honestly, I think Portland have a couple of other teams were better than them.
I'm just trying to be realistic, mate. If we play well, we'll take something for the match. Georgie Logan.
By the way, Georgie's right. I mean, that's everybody. Nobody likes going back the way, but let's see where we've came for, Ox. And there's George on there, and he's maybe having a bit of. I think I was saying, by the way, Ken, believe in what you're actually saying. We can go there and beat them in the Monarchs. So that's the thing. I mean, George is right. We've beat Porto, we've beat the other teams, Ox, half their games and bigger teams. Of course we have, but now we're 6 points in this group, going for 9 points and more. I think that adds a wee bit as well. But I didn't fear anybody anymore, Ox. We're back to that way when years and years ago you used to no fear teams. I think our team's doing all right, Ox. I didn't fear anybody, but I'm a wee bit. I know Benfica's a fairly decent team, Ox, and that's why I've been a wee bit guarded about it, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't think my favourites for the game, and I really admire George's enthusiasm for the team. I just think it's a time where we're no favourites, George, if I'm being honest. I think we might be at Ibrox, but I think Thursday night we're no. And hopefully,
we've not been favourites for a lot of games. We're still won them.
We've won one group stage away game in the last. The last one was the first we'd won away from home in the group stages, but
right.
You know, but look, George, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I do. I hope you're right.
We're going to win. We're not going to draw or lose. We're going to win, as far as I'm concerned.
And if you're right, when we're at that night out at Christmas, I'll buy you 44 pints. Because I've got a few bob for this postal order that's still being cashed. But
fear no foe.
Say that again, mate.
We fear no foe.
You're right, mate. We should go out with the right attitude. We deserve to go out with the right attitude. I just think we've got to just keep our feet in the ground, one game at a time. If we get 2 up and it doesn't go quite right, we might all of a sudden, it doesn't matter, we just go into Sunday's game and we take it from there. But we're in a great place, George, and I understand your enthusiasm. I really do. Bridgeman?
Yeah, you can't help but involve yourself with what he's saying. If you think of it, we play well. We put a really good game together, and our defence are really, really good. Our goalkeepers always seem to have good games as well for us, and that must continue. No problems at all for me. I'm always wanting a 1-0. Always wanting a 1-0 because that gives us the edge. That'll do me fine. Every game a 1-0 will do me fine. It saves the nerves, apart from the last 5 minutes when you're hanging on, you know. But seriously, I'd love it. I think Rangers are they're a surprise people in this group. That's for sure. And you know, I think if we come back with a win Thursday night, I don't think MD can actually stop us from getting through. Is it mathematically possible for us to not to go through?
If we take 9 points, and it depends on the scores in the other games, but if they draw their 2 games, they can't catch us, you know. So we just watch their space one at a time. George, the EK, then George Logan. That was your team for
mate, I've not got a team. Because every time we pick a team, they're wrong.
I know, but give us your team. You pick the team. You're in a changing room. Just to let you know, you can't pick Jones or Edmondson. You can't pick them.
I know, the balloons. I know. At the end of the day, man, I was young myself, man. I need to say, you're not going to such and such a blah. We going at lunchtime at the pub. So you can understand what it's like when you're young and not talking about.
We've all made mistakes, George.
Exactly, man. You know what I mean?
We've all made mistakes. Give us your team. Come on.
McGregor, Tav, Wilson, Hollander, Barisic, Davis, Kamara, Arfield, Hadji, Kent, Morelos.
All right, George Logan.
I mean, I think we'll go a night auction. You probably will still win the get the team auction. But for me, it'll still be Barisic, Barisic, Balogun, Golson, Tav, and McGregor. That'll be my back 4 and 5. I think Hollander will drop out to bring Balogun back in. Rebo, I think Rebo will start as well. Jack and Davis for me. It'll be Arfield, Morelos, and Kent. That's where I would say it. I mean, people say Big Atom doesn't do nothing wrong, but you've got to bring guys in and out of the team. For me, Ox.
All right, okay. I think Kamara's a certainty to start tomorrow night. Jim?
Well, I'm not playing Jack tomorrow. I'm sorry to disappoint everybody. I'm going to see your midfield. I was going to be your midfield, Ox.
Say that again, mate.
I'm not playing Jack tomorrow. I do think Jack's going to. Well, I know Jack's. I'm in Golson's. The 1 and 2 in the team sheet, but I'm not playing Jack on Thursday.
I'm
playing Kamara, Rebo, and I'm playing in the midfield. I'm playing Kent, Morelos, and Hadji up front from midfield. The back four look after itself. Big Kalanja worries me sometimes. He worried me a couple of situations of the weekend, so Big Kalanja might come in and place him.
It's great to have these problems, but Brisbane, isn't it?
You know, when you got the amount of
the team, put that way.
Exactly, because you get the amount of players that you know they've been on form and they weren't far away from it, and so on and so forth. But I would go with my tried and trusted. To be honest, I would go with McGregor, and then the trusted 4 at the back with Helander and not Balogun. So you'd have Tavernier, Golson, Helander, and Barisic. Midfield, I would go for God save us, Arfield, Davis, and Kamara. That's what I'd go for. And I would do Hadji, Morelos, and Kent.
Oh, well done.
That's what I'd go with.
That man knows what he's talking about.
I was the same team as you. I would have it slightly different tomorrow night. I've said this before. In this big game, I would have Hadji on the bench. And I would play Arfield in that position. And I would have Jack, Kamara, and Davis starting, and Arfield helping them out when he can. With Hadji ready to come on the last half an hour. And obviously Kent and Morelos, I think they were first choice. But we'll see. I mean, I've been wrong before. I think it was 1983, but we'll see. What's up with you?
1983, shocker. 1983, right enough.
That was only 18.
What's up with you, George?
No, mate, man. Just laughing about something else. You know what I mean?
Don't laugh, George.
You don't laugh. You greet, mate. Greeting's no good for them. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. But I mean, what I think's fantastic about this, we're all coming on here. We're getting slightly different teams, and we're no sort of weakening the first 11. And we've got Hollander, Balogun. You get into midfield, you've got 3 positions. You've got Jack, Davis, Arfield, Kamara, and obviously Zunga will come into the frame sooner or later. Mm-hmm. But we've got 4 into 3. We've not quite got the blend up front. There's competition for there, and we'll see where that takes us. But we've all got Morelos and Kent and another. Fox.
I see they here. Oh, they did mention Roof up front, didn't they? No.
No.
Wonder why that was.
Well, we're going to bring one with 2 minutes to go, just to strike one.
Hit the roof. The roof.
Is it on fire?
But we'll see what I think is fabulous. George Logan then bring Fox in his team. Is we've all got slightly different teams, but we're no weakening our first 11.
That team the new I picked, that's probably the team I would think. I would think Rebo's due. I think he could play out in the.
Oh, but Joe Rebo.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said Joe Aribo and possibly and Kamara would miss it. For Joe Aribo and my three in the midfield would be Davis, Jack, and Arfield. That's why how I'd do it. Like, I think Aribo's his feet are unbelievable to watch. Also, I just think he's great. But for that team I just mentioned there, Roof could start in place of somebody up front. Hadji could start. Even Big Bassett could play at left back. And you wouldn't really say we're really weakened there tonight. I mean, you're bringing guys after him we could consider as first team players. We've got a good blend of players in the Oaks, and they're all fighting for position. I think if all five of us on there now could probably name the team, and we'd all got a couple on Oaks because that's just the way we're playing now, and that's why the manager's doing it, Oaks.
I forgot about Joe Aribo. George, right, wait a minute, I'm just getting my pen. That was 1983 and 2000.
1983. It's like a song, isn't it?
Aye, that's serious. That's unbelievable. EK George, I forgot about Joe Aribo.
I think you'll come up prevention there, Tom.
I think so too. I do, George.
I think you could be right there. I've scored that out. I was right. He's not starting.
I was right.
But George Logan was right a minute ago because it's very difficult, isn't it? We've got some really good players, and you've got players that are, they're coming back from a wee injury or something like that. It takes time to get some.
I do it, man. I had Aribo, my midfielder, Aribo, Kamara, and Davis.
No, I'm only saying it's difficult because people don't see it. I don't see Aribo ready to come into a European tie. It's a big game for us. But I'd see him coming in as off the bench and doing well.
You got an argument here. Hold on a wee minute.
With me? I don't cause arguments.
Oh, he does.
No, I don't.
Troublemaker, isn't he? He always walks in the middle of
it. Don't take that, son.
I can't believe he's saying that to me. That's bullying, by the way.
It wouldn't be bullying if it wasn't true. But we'll see what it takes. It's interesting. I'm wondering if we'll see Zunga at all over the tie. But I'll tell you this: if Aribo doesn't take part tomorrow night and comes on the sub, he's one of the first names in the team sheet for me at home to Hamilton. Bizarrely, George Logan.
Absolutely.
Aye, for me as well, Ox. I keep on saying it. I mean, I think a lot of people last season, I think 2 seasons ago, they weren't hanging with Barisic, and it became really good. Probably a top player now. I think Hadji's got to be the same. I think he's got to be a top player. But I love watching Joe Aribo. Ox. He's got really quick feet. He can take boys on. He's one of the cage football players. He's right tight. The ball's right tight into him, and that is good to watch. So that's how I think he'll start. I think he'll start with Kent, obviously Aribo on one side, Kent on the other side, and Alfie through the middle. That's how I think he is, because he's got a bit of flair about him. I think that's the kind of game this has got to be. It's got to be a bit of flair game and winning certain balls and that. So that's why I would play him in there on Thursday.
Aye. Stuff right, Richmond. People want to join us. What's the number?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. We brought in a call with Fox and Old School Blue. Phone up, hang up, and we will phone you back to get all your opinions Rangers related. Aye.
Can I ask a question, Ox?
Yes, mate. Carry on, John.
But if Big Atton misses out on Thursday, Ox, he'll be a bit disappointed. Do you think? How do you think he played on Sunday? I thought he played quite well actually, but I thought a lot of people were quite hard on him. I thought he held the ball up well and things like that. Ox.
Well, I got a phone call this morning, very, very early for a guy, and I wouldn't tell you his name, but he was trying. First of all, he was trying to sell me a second-hand line mask. Yeah, that's the first thing he tried to do, and then let's just say he was trying to sell me some other stuff, and I was going to say he's well educated, but that wouldn't be true. When it seems to go as Bridgeman. So he was saying he'd watched the game back, and he was saying his initial reaction, he was very hard on the Itton. because he done okay. No spectacular, just okay. Like over front three, I thought Alfredo was the pick of the three of them. But Itton, I thought in the first half, done fine, mate. He wasn't spectacular, but he was maybe 6.5, maybe even the worst 7 out of 10. I think in the second half, he wasn't involved as much and maybe made the wrong decisions a couple of times, but he done okay. Would that be fair, George EK?
Aye, I would 100% agree with that. I would say about 6. I mean, he
wasn't fantastic.
He done the line of Norwich, which wasn't really wasn't his position, you know what I mean? But Gerrard, don't get me wrong, Gerrard had him as his man of the match. It shows you how he sees the game. I mean, compared to we do.
I'm not arguing with you. No arguing with him. See what the boy happened to the boy in the press conference.
Take no prisoners.
No. But
I think the big man, I think he's going to be a good football player for us. I think he was played out of position the other day because he's only one fit and it's a right fit, and that defender couldn't get his head around that because I would have showed him inside. He kept going outside to get the ball here. He was due, but he's not a left foot on him. If you noticed that the other night we were the other day.
No, he's not. He doesn't. He favours his right a lot, which is okay if it's a Eugene, you know. But I don't think we've seen enough minutes of him to judge yet. We'll see where it takes us. I must say that he's going to be an automatic starter. No Bridgman, but he's part of the pool.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think he's got a great future at Rangers. To be honest, I really do. I think he really held the ball up very well, and we got involved. Not scared of anybody coming in near him, nothing like that. Made a lovely couple of passes right across the face of goal, and Alfredo just went on two of them, but two, shall we say, nicks of the ball on a goal. But and unfortunately, I would missed him. But I've got no problem.
Yeah, Bridgman, maybe because he's built, I don't know. He's got a touch of the Torrey Andre flows about him. Does that make sense?
Well, you might be right there, but that's a terrible part to play on for your first time. You know, and the ball doesn't run right. It never runs right. And the wind was there and all that. So I've got to say that I thought he played very well, considering where he was and who we were playing against. Because they're really tough to play against, that mob. Tough.
Absolutely.
Aye. George Logan, I said he done okay. What was your thoughts, Ben?
Well, when I first watched the game, I thought I actually said, man, in my group chats, I just kind of see this boy being a football player. And I watched the highlights of the game, and then when I watched the highlights, I already had the game, so I watched a bit more wee bits of it. He's actually, I thought he was actually quite decent. He held the ball well, looked like he had a bit of an eye for a ball and things like that as well. There's no fear he was played out wide. Maybe he was just doing a job out there, but I think if he's the front man, the goals he scored against Motherwell gave me a wee bit of something to think about. But I mean, on a day, I've seen Bridgman putting a couple in the back of the pocket like that recently, so anybody can do it on their day. At the end of the day, it's just a matter of how consistent he is. And I think he's got to be a better player for us, also, if I'm honest.
Go on yourself, George.
Well, okay. We'll see what it takes us. But it's good. EK, George, what it's good is we're slowly building a squad. The guys are getting bits and minutes. They're getting to compete. They're all getting... and we don't know we're first 11. We've all got bits and pieces. If they're all fit, for me, Joe Rebo's he's got to start. I never even mentioned him in the first 11 away to Benfica. If everybody's fit, it's going to be hard to get in this team.
I mean, you forget about Joe Rebo, man, because their midfield is that good. You know what I mean? So, that's probably why you forgot about him, you know what I mean? But as you say, we are definitely getting better, man. Players are getting better.
It doesn't know anything about midfield.
What?
He doesn't know anything about midfield.
Oh, yeah. When I passed the ball to Bridgman at the Rangers Radio 5 asides, I said to him, see that mitre? Aye. He said, when you pass it, that should always be facing up the way. He said, I didn't even know there was a name on the ball. Bridge.
No, pal. Still can't play football.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Right, so this positivity, when's it got to end? May?
Don't chance that. Don't chance that, please.
May, June, next year, end of the season, champions, league winners, celebrate all our hangovers. Hopefully it just keeps running. That is, George, that's 18 games we've played. We've lost 4 goals. One of them was an own goal, one of them was offside. Remarkable stat. Remarkable. George Logan.
Aye, it's absolutely unbelievable, Ox. I mean, we really have got a really half-decent team. I mean, we're playing some big teams in Europe. We're giving them as much to think about as they're giving us to think about. Teams like Benfica, Porto, Braga, all these teams, and we're playing them off the park sometimes, Ox. We're coming out even with them in big teams. So we're back where we should be. Ox back up at the very, very top again. And that's what I'm saying, Ox. I mean, everything is positive. At the club now, and we're talking about that team. How they got to play, how we got to play. Sorry, Ox. A lot of the players won't even ken our players, Ox. I mean, we've got players in their team. We know. Our guys are not like that. We built a team out of guys who Steven Gerrard's put together, Ox. And they're not the greatest players in the world, but they've built a good team, Ox. If you know what I mean, they've came together as a good pool of players.
That's getting the blend right. I get it, mate.
They're massive names, if you know what I mean. I mean, obviously, Jermaine Defoe's had a career, and I think if we were honest about it, the biggest name will be Steven Gerrard, and that's what all the away teams will talk about. If we're honest about it, Tavernier, I mean, we think the absolute world of him and think he's great, but they probably won't even, if we're honest, know who he is. If we're honest, so we've not got a team of superstars, but I've got a half-decent team, if you know what I mean.
Aye. I mean, anybody that looks at the results must sit up and take notice, George Potter.
You talk about me?
On you go, you can take it, George. You can.
Right, aye. Well, I think we've built a team that's now got total team spirit within themselves, you know what I mean? And we used to be a team that were easily read, you know what I mean? We used to play like the kind of defensive fit, but man tried catching the break. Now we've got players in our team, they've got a bit of panache, what I'm talking about. They play these killer passes, man, and score these cracking goals, you know what I mean? So we're a different outfit altogether now, from way back in the day, you know what I mean? Honestly, I just can't see it. I honestly think we're going to win. I really do.
I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right. Jim for Paisley.
Well, I think we've got an Indian side of the Portuguese team just now. I think they're more worried about us than we are about them. Quite honest with you, they want the Glasgow Rangers come to their pitch. Looking at their records, I think they're going to be worried. They've got to be worried.
Aye, well, the stats say that, Bridgeman, didn't they? Bridge.
Sorry, pal, I was just coughing there. I took a drink and went down the wrong way, in a stupid way, you know. The stats tell us that they're going to be concerned about us, that's for sure.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, we should always be a bit wary of them as well, truth be told. Because at the end of the day, the bookies have got them, I think the bookies have got them favourite. Is it like 2-1 on or something like that to win the game?
Nice one.
I'm not dead sure. But, well, you know what I mean? This is it, you know, bookies, they're no often a rang, if you follow what I mean. But Rangers are a surprise, a good surprise. So for me, the Rangers go out and do what the Rangers are good at. As long as they can do what they're good at, we get a good chance. That's for sure.
I will see when it takes us. So if people want to join us for the last half an hour, Bridge, what's the number?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. Be brought in the call by the one and only Fox and Old School Blue. Phone up, high up, we will contact you right back. But here, great to hear anybody who's sitting in the new lobby, Bridge. Yeah. I know you'll be having a look in there. How's it working?
It looks good. I'm I'm just in there saying hello to people, but it looks good. And I'm sure that as it settles down, it'll be brilliant. I think it'll be absolutely brilliant, first class.
Aye,
People will get used to it, you know.
I can't multitask, mate. One at a time.
You can't multitask.
No. What was it?
Sound like a midfielder.
No, what was it? One job at a time. One job at a time. You know, one job at a time. Right. Anybody think? Here's one for you. Anybody think that Barker could appear tomorrow night?
No.
You pulled that 3 weeks ago. You pulled that one 3 weeks ago and it came true.
George Logan was the man that mentioned it before.
Was it George Logan? There you go.
George Logan.
Docs, there's every chance he could play the Mora on Thursday, sorry. Every chance he could play because the manager sees something. Me personally, and everybody sees football different. And I'm not saying Steven Gerrard's wrong, but he's wrong about this. He's just no the guy I like, Hawks. He's no good enough for your team, but he keeps on getting selected, and there is a chance he could play the Mora. He's nowhere near the same standard as Peter Lovenkrands. That's not what I'm about to say, but Peter Lovenkrands had a lot of speed and could draw a lot of fouls and things like that. Barker is a talented player, but he's no showed it for us. Ox.
He wouldn't be in my team, but Gerrard's used him as a curveball a few times, Jim, hasn't he?
Well, he's doing my team, any team actually. Because we see when he played with Hibs. Remember they ripped us apart. They played outside left. They ran down that wing up. That's what he did. But he doesn't do that for us, and that's no position he plays for Rangers. So he's no any use for us. But Stevie Gerrard wants to play him. Well, that's my opinion. I want to get a house for him actually. God love him, you know.
Aye, but as I said, he wouldn't be one of my favourites. I know Bridges got him as a pin-up, but
shocker, so yeah, shocker.
A few times in Gerrard's team selection in big games. I mean, he played it over their place, Bridge, didn't he?
I quite liked the boy when he played. He's played for us a number of times. I think he's had about 3 really good performances from him. The others were just, he wasn't really getting to the game, he wasn't good enough, his head wasn't in it, whatever it caused it. But there is a couple of times scored a couple of goals, so I have no complaints about him that way. However, I wouldn't automatically have him in my first team at the present moment, and the manager is maybe just going to use him sparingly, which will drive you all you mad because you don't want to see him in the team. That's for sure.
Listen, Brisbane, it's a dog-eat-dog game, this. He's not in the team, that's the end of it. Forget it. He's no good enough for Rangers.
But what I will say is
that's all I've got. That's all I've got to say about that.
You're not being a wee bit rash there, are you?
I don't like it. I don't think he's good enough. I think George said that too. I'm not convinced at all. He must do something at the training part that we don't see, obviously. Listen, we're not going to question the manager. Okay, listen, we're not going to question the manager here. He sees what he sees. For me, his stuff's not there.
They're interested to see how it pans out, because I don't disagree with your sentiment, mate, that the manager's played him in some big games, George Logan, isn't he?
Aye, that's what happens. Like you say, Docs, that could be a wee curveball that he maybe plays, and there's every chance he could play, but no for me, Ox. I mean, I think he does a job when you're maybe missing a Rebo and you're missing a Jack, and you're maybe missing Stephen Davis, isn't it? Can you maybe get in there, and that's fair enough, Ox, but we've looked good enough players for him not to be near our team. I would put him, no offence to anybody, but I'd put him in the same level as Jordan Jones, where he was just there a boots game, he wasn't thingman, but there's every chance your manager could play him, Ox, and he could do a job for us tomorrow, so it's one of the ones, isn't it?
Well, will you start in your first 3 tomorrow? Thursday night, rather.
I wouldn't personally. No, I wouldn't. No. But what I'm saying is, I wouldn't start
with MD.
Steven Gerrard, mate.
No, that's a worrying thing. So we're not at the training ground every day. We're not there watching what he does.
When you come, George.
I think Steven Gerrard looks at him and sees Johan Cruyff. He beats a few men, looks good, just runs. He's doing, doesn't look up, just runs straight into trouble. I'm like, what's that all about? He does that. He seems to do that all the time.
Ali Scott used to hear. Ali Scott used to do that too. Remember, Crazy Horse used to he'd run out of the celly unless you stopped him.
Ali Scott.
I got back too far.
No, not for me, mate, unfortunately. I wish you weren't, but no for me.
Crazy Horse, eh? There was a flag in that corner, Paul either kept running.
He gave McGrain a hard time, he did. McGrain didn't like him, did he? But what I'm saying about Barker, George Logan is, I wouldn't maybe pick him, but the manager's played him in big games. He's got results.
Aye, his Rocks, and he honestly has it, and that's why you could say there's every chance he will play the more knocks. When I say he's not been great for the Rocks, that's me saying that he's never let us do knocks. There's a difference in somebody letting you down and going hiding and things like that. He doesn't do that a lot, but there's every chance the boy could play the more. I mean, you're talking about stats, the players there, Rocks. I'm talking stats, 18 games and things like that. Me personally, last season, I can remember games when Big Golson made mistakes and things like that. I can remember people talking, saying he wasn't the greatest, but you've got to look at his stats, the amount of games he's played for us in Europe and in the league in that, Ox. He's been an absolute warrior for us this season, Ox.
Here, mate. Here. He's played really well. Credit where credit's due. Bridgman, he has been playing well.
Yes, indeed. Played very good. And so did Alex Scott, Alex Scott played very well for the Rangers.
Alex Scott
very well. He was superb.
No, Alex Scott. Alex Scott.
Oh, no, I'm talking about Alex Scott, sorry.
Oh,
You're saying Ali Scott?
Aye.
No, anyway, he was Crazy Horse right enough.
Oh, dear. Just letting you know, Jim Fratuzzi, that's you, Bob, for that Ali Scott one. Enough's enough.
Yeah, there's a blast for the past of it.
Please accept my apologies. I thought you were talking about Alex Scott, sorry.
Alex Scott was a class player, eh?
Magic. Only thing that beat him was Willie Henderson. Willie Henderson came into the team. That was him going.
He went to the league with Everton in England.
Absolutely, and by the way, he was a smashing player.
Aye.
But, I think we got Alex off at Queen's Park or something.
Did he get a game for Queen's Park?
He played player time for us, by the way. Doing that left wing.
I don't want to say. I don't like saying too negative things about.
That's the biggest blast to the past since somebody came on here shouting and bawling about Andy Kennedy. If you're listening, Southside, well done last night, mate. A lot of good positive feedback. Done well, the boy, didn't he, Bridgman, Southside. Bridgman.
What's that, buddy?
I was asking you about Pythagoras. Do you think it's a lot of nonsense?
No, it's the truth. Pythagoras theory, yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to it as well. Got to get your mind around that.
2.7. Yeah.
What's that?
22.7.
It's good stuff, but.
Mathematical genius. I forgot to say about
that. Never mind the mathematical genius. Just you get your double up on Thursday night. We'll all be happy.
Yeah, by the way, I forgot to say I'm working on Thursday. So I'll need to get in one of that. I'll need to take the fire stick and he work with me.
You can't do that.
Okay, watch me.
Can I make me point, Ox?
What's that, Jim?
I wasn't me, I never said that. I was reading something.
See, you always say, Ox, about if we play, we win the game. I think right now, Ox, we're playing at that level you were probably talking about. But we've got a wee bit extra now, Ox. There's extra other guys in our team that can take us to that next level. So I can you always used to say if we play, we win. That was maybe a wee bit below us now. Ox. I think we're probably just with the new. We're not happy with how we're actually playing, but we're still winning games. It's probably that level, but we've got guys that can take us to that very next level now, Ox. We never had that last season.
And you're right, Josh. What I meant like that, we've seen this team develop over the last couple of years, and even last year we went a bad run. The wheels came off spectacular. We never played well. But we knew that if we played in any team in our league, if we played, we wouldn't have fit for much. And that's been borne out this season. I think that's there's only Hibs we've not beaten the league yet, because obviously we've played Livingston twice, we've beat them at Ibrox. So it shows you we can actually beat all the teams. But we have to play. But what we've got now is we've got that consistency that wasn't quite there last season, Bridgman. Even though we're not that far away points-wise, throw the European game into it, the European one in there, and it's excellent form in anybody's book.
Yeah, but look, there was obviously something missing in last year's team, and we know that. But you look at it this time, and with obviously with good luck and a fair wind, we'll get through it, and we'll keep going as long as we keep our heads up and be full of confidence on what we're doing, as we showed against Kilmarnock earlier the weekend. That was a wonderful result for us. An absolutely outstanding result under severe pressure, poor park and poor weather. Just brilliant. What a brilliant result. And everybody should be happy. We've got to keep that going. Keep it going, and we'll be good.
Bridgman.
Yes,
Bridgman. I'm going to ban here. Can I just say something? You just bring us on back down to earth again here. Now, if this boy does be a stupid handball for a penalty for us, and McGregor does bring off a fantastic save for the free kick, that's a nut niche or a one. And when you think it looks like a draw.
There you go. To me. Yeah, but I look at it. I do agree with you what you're saying, but I also look at it the number of chances that we created, and our men failed to A, connect with the ball, or B, miss the target.
Right.
So we were very unlucky. I thought Aribo's shot was absolutely outstanding, and you see the way he hit the ball and everything, and that just spizzed over the bar, really, considering.
And the minute shot, I can say Ryan Kent, he's through 1-on-1, Morelos 1-on-1. We should be punishing.
We should be, and that's the thing that's bothering a lot of folk at the moment.
See, you look back at that game, Bridgman. You look back at that game, that could have been 4-0.
I said that yesterday, and everybody agrees. We see with our own eyes. We wouldn't have thought too much about it if we had won 4-0. We wouldn't have turned and says, "Oh, we were lucky." No, we deserved to beat that team hands down.
Just for the chances. Correct. We didn't convert. But the thing that we should be converting like that. This is a wee thing that don't win you the league, Bridgman. These wee instances like that.
That's correct. That's what happened to us last year as well. We weren't getting the luck. We weren't getting that goal. We weren't getting that penalty. You know, that's what was happening to us last year. We weren't getting it, and we ended up drawing or even losing because we couldn't just absorb the pressure. Now we can absorb the pressure. I think it's brilliant. I think it's great.
Right.
Still a bit tentative, still sometimes looking at it through the slits of the fingers and things like that,
Was that a worrying situation for you at the weekend there, Bridgman?
I would say only about the last minute. When the boy took the free kick, a smashing free kick, the worrying thing for me was it actually got through the wall. We opened up and let him get space. Other than that, the goalkeeper came out, did what he had to do, smothered the ball, and the rest of it, to me, I'm not saying plain sailing, but we held on and no problem.
Yeah, Bridgman, see that free kick? You watched the ball line up where the keeper was. I thought McGregor was stood away in the line.
240 on one side for me.
Did you think?
Yes, if it got through at a different angle, he wouldn't have got it. That's for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll go back to George Logan's point. George, what I'm all saying about Thursday night, if we play, we're no certainty to win.
No, you're probably right there, Ox, because I think that's the level we're coming up against, Ox. But I think if we play our best, that means we're solid at the back, Ox, so we don't get beat.
You
see what I'm saying?
Right.
Ken, I think if they play, we play. There's a chance both teams can win. Obviously, it's simple as that. But I think if we play to our standard, no matter how good they play us, I think we keep a clean sheet at the back. And then if we can, that's the way I see it. I think I'm that confident with our back four, our back five box.
All right, probably. But in Scotland, against any team, if we play to our form, we win the football match, George.
Aye, in Scotland, in Scotland, that's right, Ox. Aye, that's right. But I think in Europe we're coming up against different levels now, Ox.
Aye, teams away from home and that as well, and we'll see. And I hope the boys are right. I hope that they win the football match, but I just don't think we're overwhelming favourites. But we'll see where it takes us. I'm really looking forward to it, actually, if I'm being honest. George EK?
I'm buzzing for it. Because I think they'll look down at us as like a Scottish team and go like that. They're not that good, you know what I mean? We are. We're a lot better than we used to be, that's for sure.
It'd be interesting. I mean, last year they had the go through Portuguese.
The only problem with it is, man, they'll fall down everywhere, you know what I mean?
Well, aye. There might be. It's a different kind again. But that's one thing we don't do. We're quite disciplined. We don't get too involved. I know some people would like to see we play with the head, not with the heart bridge, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you were saying there that you're really looking forward to it. And I think that's one of the great things for the Rangers fans now. I'm always looking forward to seeing my team anyway. But without the dread, watch it with dread, No, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see how they play. I want to be able to critique them without thinking I'm hurting them or something like that, because they can be a bit delicate things. No, great teams. We've played some great teams and we've come out shining. And I just hope that happens on Thursday night. I hope it happens. I'm really looking forward to it, like myself. Really looking forward to it. And by the way, can I just say, the square of the hypotenuse on the right angle triangle, is it equal to the sum of the squares on the other two sides? Yeah, that's Mr. Pythagoras.
Yeah. Were you in your library night, Bridgeman, digging that one out?
We used to get taught these things at school.
Right, mate. You're absolutely right.
I went to a sensible school up in Drumchapel. There you go.
I'm just going to say, for the record, we were getting taught these things at primary school. They got taught them.
No, you weren't. You never got primary school.
Yeah, you understand where I'm coming from there, George VK. We got it at primary school, they got it at
Tell me about it, mate. Tell me about it.
That was a difference,
Right, I had to leave school before I go to that at college. Well done, you guys.
Well, I can't believe it. I don't know where the times went tonight. It's been a bit of a giggle just looking at it.
That's brilliant. That's what I'm saying. It's all positive about our club and all. So we can run here, have a bit of banter. Who's got a good opinion? Looking forward to the game. You said you're excited about the game. I'm excited about most games in the Oaks, but that last game against that lot was probably the one where I was most confident and excited at the same time for a few years, Oaks. So may the good times keep going, Oaks.
Well, we joined them on the night with George Edmondson and Lloyd Jones. They've got nothing else to do, so they're going to come on the floor.
Oh, brilliant. Well, that's a really good one. Really good one.
No. Well, we've reached that time of the evening, and it's over to you, Bridgeman.
Well, by the way, Ox, another great night. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Good discussions. Well done, George, and everybody else as well. But seriously, can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, 2 sleeps. 2 sleeps, that's what we've got. Everybody, keep it going for the Rangers, because they deserve it. We need it. Keep it going.
Here. Once again, in all sincerity, I know they're laughing, they joke, but hats off to Fox and particularly Old School Blue. Thanks very much. Without Old School Blue, there's no Rangers Radio, and the work is done in the last 24 hours behind the scenes to make sure the show goes out tonight. Thanks very much. I mean it, Terry, or Old School. You're a star. Without you, there's no show. Can I thank Bridgeman? Can I thank Jim, Big Dave, George, 3 Rangers Radio characters, more importantly. George Logan, always a pleasure, big man. And just to let you know, Rangers Radio will be joined tomorrow night by the first lady of the show. Linda will be with us, giving her thoughts on all things Rangers. We'll be back tomorrow night tomorrow night's Wednesday, I thought it was Thursday. Rangers will be all excited. The one next Wednesday will be John DeLinda, building up to the European tie away in Benfica. Take it away, Old School Blue, the star of the show.
See them march on, marching on through the years of history. It's held on high, for the jersey they will do or die. Fight for time, play the game with the band of glory. Win, lose or draw, that's the Glasgow Rangers story. See them march on, banners high as they fly before you. Loyal and true, on the way to cheer the boys in blue. Follow the drill, marching on to the songs of glory. Win, lose or draw, that's the Glasgow Rangers story. See them march on, banners high as they fly before you. Loyal and true, on the way to cheer the boys in